Let's get into it. It's crime o'clock, yeah, feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick-tock, won't stop, let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah, it's crime o'clock. Clock, clock, yeah. Typically new, neon signs glow, brick wall behind me. Headlines loud, but they never define me. They rush the story, skip the proof. I slow it down, let it show the truth. Files on deck, read every line. Timestamps matter, so does time. If it don't fit, I don't force the frame. Ask one question, whole story change. No fear my voice, no need to shout. Paper speaks when you read it out. If the math's off, I'll circle twice. Truth ain't loud, but it ain't nice. Yeah. Read it again. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah. It's crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Read it again. They sell a narrative if I sell receipts. Courtroom quiet, but the pages speak. Word for word, no added spin. Let it stand, yeah, let that sink in. Screenshot save, timelines tight. Missing pieces keep me up at night. If they say alleged, I say why. If they say case closed, I say try. No rush here, we do it right. Truth don't bend for the likes of hype. If you came for noise, you in the wrong spot. This is evidence, this is crime o'clock. Clock, clock, clock. Stay with me. This isn't background noise. This is pattern recognition. This is documents. This is crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Say it with me now. Crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Typically unique. It's crime o'clock. Yeah. If you're here, you're early. If you're listening, you're paying attention. Show starts now.
Welcome back to Crime O'Clock on Typically Unique. I am unable to go live today, so I am premiering this live that I had made back in, I think, November, and it didn't have very many views. I didn't have as many subscribers back then, but I compared a case that dealt with post-conviction relief with Elissa Massoth and some other information, very telling, important information about that whole process with appeals, issues that had happened in Idaho with a prosecutor actually standing up in that state and trying to make changes. So you'll see how that went. I thought this was a very important live with good information. So check it out. I hope you enjoy it. I will see you in the chat. Tuesday night, I will probably be live later in the evening because of my schedule. And then Wednesday, I should be back to 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, clocking in. So enjoy, and I'll see you in the chat. Bye. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great morning so far. I know it's like 11 a.m. here. I still say morning. My friend Lori might be popping in the chat, and she's probably been at work for like, I don't know, 6 hours already. She probably laughs at me when I say good morning. Hi, Roxanne Harrow. Good to see you. My glasses need cleaned. So today we are going to look at, I've been on this like unexonerated path. Why Brian took the plea deal. What can he do now, if anything? What, if anything, right? That's one of the one of the phrases. So today I wanted to look at a case, and I know there's another creator that also covered the same exact case. I had it planned way before I saw that. I have been probably for over a month now looking for different cases, finding different cases that I can compare to Brian Koberger's case, unexonerated, and pulling out different topics. Lately, I've been looking into this whole idea of an appeal. Can Brian appeal? What I've discovered is that there's a difference between an actual appeal and post-conviction relief. So the story that I'm going to show you and we can talk about shows both. Elissa Massoth was the appellate attorney for one of them. So that's pretty awesome. She's showing us she can do it and how she did it. Yeah, so we'll get into that in a second. Let some people find the live and get in here. Yesterday I was live and I was just reading through the Moscow documents, 101 to 110, and I pulled up my old notes. We were looking for I shouldn't say old notes, my notes from the older documents, like MPD documents, and putting together a list of other suspicious possible suspects that come up in these reports. And so we started that. That's going to be an ongoing project that I'm working on. When I'm on Dago's show and he's showing like old interview or showing the interviews or like different footage, conversations that come up. No, it was one of the docs that I read. So in one of the docs that I read, it was an interview with the neighbor. Good morning, Witchy. Good to see you. The neighbor of 1122. So the ones with the light bulb camera. And I think her name definitely started with a P. Well, I shouldn't say definitely. I'm pretty sure it started with a P. And I believe she's the first person that they contacted about the camera. And in her interview or in a report, in one of the reports, it was stated that she sent a clip to the officers. So they just leave you to assume. It's not very clear. So I'm assuming it's from her light bulb camera, right? And it showed someone, it said something about someone at the dumpster that night. And they do have a dumpster. Yeah, Peyton, is that her? Do you know her full name? That's probably it. I don't have my blank paper here to take my notes that you guys, when you give me information, I gotta get that set up. So how interesting is that? Because when I was talking about this yesterday, the way I make sense of it is the other dumpster person is on the Linda Lane. I think it's the 1330. Isn't that the one that's further away? That wouldn't have been available on day one, I don't think. So how would she get a clip on the first day, on the 13th, to give to the police? I would think it would have to come from her own camera. So I have this theory that everybody was converging on the house right before 4 a.m. based on times we're told and the videos we can see. And so I don't know the time. I don't know the timestamp of this clip that she said she gave to law enforcement. Which you've heard that before. Okay, I have not. I have not heard anybody say that. So yeah, interesting. And also interesting that we don't see that on that 1122 footage, do we? I just saw Bubbly posted a video earlier, might have been last night. And she did some different lighting effects, and I think it was her work, or she was showing someone else's work of that camera. It's hard for me to follow all of that, but yeah, something for us to keep our eye out for, because that could be a possible other perpetrator. We keep saying more than one person, and now it just looks more like they're hiding them from us. So, which he said, definitely 2 dumpsters. Not the first time I've heard that someone was looking in all the dumpsters that night. Yeah. To me, it seems more than looking in the dumpster, like the one we can see on the Linda Lane footage. He was in and out pretty fast. Like, he opened it. I think he got whatever was supposed to be in there, and he got it, and he carried on his way. Um, Bubbly has some dumpster videos. Okay. Okay. Oh, ew. What? A brain. Ew. Um, yeah, so that was one thing. Yesterday in the doc that I read, we came across Brian's neighbors stating that he was hanging out with a Harley Davidson tatted up motorcycle dude. That's odd. That's a saying that Carlos and I say all the time. We'll go, that's odd. I got to insert that more in here. We use that all the time. It's kind of like when you're trying to be sarcastic to somebody and you go, that's odd. I can't see him hanging out with somebody like that unless, I mean, I can think of 2 scenarios if Brian was off the wagon and trying to score, or he was doing some investigating on his own. Completely opposite theories, but I think both fit what we know about him, right? Thanks, Brooke. I appreciate that. Then last night, I had to go to sleep a little bit earlier than I normally do because I wanted to get up and be ready for this live, but Dago was on and I stayed in there as long as I could. And he was looking at the 911, listening to the 911 call, and watching the 911, I know, watching the first responder video. And I was trying to make sense of, I think the main discussion was, when did that knife get on the floor? Were you guys in there for that? Your street cats leave you presents. They think they're doing a good thing, right? Here, Mom, look what I brought you. So I was confused about that first responder scene with Emily's interview. She said when she went up so she made it seem like in her interview, she went up to the 2nd floor and behind Hunter. Hunter's already up there. She was a few minutes behind him, and she sees a knife on the floor. So then Hunter's account is he had to unlock the front door, probably see the girls, right? Let them know he's there, go upstairs, see Xana and Ethan, leave the room. No, just see Xana, I think. Leave the room, go get a knife, go back in. And I think the confusion was there were a couple times when he's yelling their names, and if he already saw them the first time before going to get the knife, you already know they're not responsive and they're in horrible condition. Why are you still yelling for them? When did he make it over by the steps? And I believe it would have to be before the police got there, because Emily's just going up the steps. My understanding is that probably happened before the cop got there. to see that. So that's something that I have highlighted that I myself need to look at more to understand. And the reason is it looks like a lot of these scenarios, these events that we're being able to hear and see and read don't always match up and line up exactly. So just looking for, well, okay, what's actually the truth? I think that's the bottom line. Which one's right? Which portion of that is correct, right? Brooke says, yeah, because he was the one who initially said to call 911. Right. That's the other part of it is he had to go in and see her first. So did he go in, see her, run and tell them, go call 911, and then continue on to the kitchen? Yeah. Fiddlesticks. Is that what we say when stuff isn't matching up? I think I missed that part of that inside joke, and I like inside jokes for sure. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to let you listen and watch the story of the victim's name is Linda LeBrain. She lived, I'll give you a little backstory. She lived in Port Townsend, Washington. She was Mormon and she had 7 kids. She was a violinist. She was a poet. She seemed like a really neat lady who knew her value. When this event happened, she was on her yearly trip. This woman would take 10 days all to herself. She would leave her family, drive a good distance from, I think she was in Western Washington, through Idaho to like, there's this place called Bear Lake, and apparently it's like partly in Idaho and partly in Utah. I hope those states butt up against each other for my geography people out there. 10 days all to herself. And she said she would come back refreshed and like her children again. I just thought she seemed so down to earth for that. So, and unfortunately this event happened when she was on her way to that trip. So, let me find the video. Got to click video file. There we go. It was one of those quiet summer nights in Idaho where the sky hangs low and the roads feel endless. Linda LeBrain, driving from Port Townsend, Washington to her family's summer home in Bear Lake, Utah for her yearly solo getaway. She was driving along a stretch of highway at night, completely enjoying the night air with her windows down and music playing, when she noticed the headlights behind her. A car full of teenagers, 3 boys and 1 girl, started following her. At first, it felt like annoying road harassment, but their behavior quickly escalated. They swerved near her, taunted her, and pushed her into a state of growing fear. Linda had no idea she was about to be thrust into one of the most brutal and baffling crime stories Idaho had ever seen. Their car closed in. The teens forced her off the road. Before Linda could react, they were on her. They beat her through the open window, then climbed into her car, continuing the attack with a level of violence she could barely comprehend. Linda was stabbed, hit, dragged, and robbed. They took her wedding ring and what little money she had. She was left barely conscious, but miraculously alive. The attackers drove her car deep into a farm field. Everything hurt. Every breath felt like it might be her last. The teens left her there, believing she was dying. Then they came back a second time. This time, they lit the car on fire. Flames crawled across the interior. Smoke filled her lungs, but fate intervened. 2 boys walking nearby saw the fire glowing in the distance. They ran towards the flames and pulled Linda out moments before the burning car collapsed. And then they called for help. She survived because 2 strangers refused to ignore the light in a dark field. From the beginning, Linda helped investigators by working with a forensic artist. Together, they created composite drawings of the people she said attacked her. The images haunted her for years, but they also proved vital. Then, 2 years after the attack, a breakthrough. A tip from a viewer of America's Most Wanted. The tip came from South Carolina, where someone, an ex-girlfriend, recognized one of the men in the sketches, a man named Kenneth Werdeman. Investigators connected the dots, and soon Kenneth was arrested and extradited to Idaho. From there, the investigation exploded. Detectives soon had suspects. Kenneth Werdeman confessed and implicated his own brother, John David Werdeman, as an accomplice. Another young man, Jeremy Sanchez, was identified as part of the group. These pieces seemed to form a picture, but investigators wanted more. They were convinced, through eyewitness accounts and Linda herself, that a female attacker had joined the boys that night. A jailhouse informant claimed a girl named Sarah Pierce was tied to Sanchez's crew. Detectives pushed the theory, even though the physical descriptions they had didn't match her at all. Witnesses at a rest stop described the female offender as a short, under 5'1", Hispanic girly girl, someone small, feminine, and youthful. Sarah Pierce was a 5'6" white woman, not a girly girl, not Hispanic, and not physically similar in any meaningful way. But in a case already clouded by panic and urgency, investigators kept moving toward her. Then came the lineup, and with it, significant problems. Eyewitnesses were shown a video lineup, but before the lineup started, Sarah's picture flashed on screen. It was only a second, but it was enough. Studies show that even a brief flash of a photo can implant recognition, making witnesses feel like they've seen the suspect before. The witnesses who saw that lineup identified Sarah. From that point on, the system moved against her. Meanwhile, an earlier female suspect, Erica Curiel, had initially been considered because she matched the original description more closely. But she supposedly passed a lie detector test and was dismissed as a suspect. But later records and behavior would reveal a much more troubling history. Erica would eventually be arrested for other violent crimes, including assault, shedding new light on her potential involvement during the LeBrain attack. However, Sarah Pierce was the one convicted for the crime and sentenced to 15 years to life. In 2007, a volunteer with the Idaho Innocence Project, Ginny Hatch, reopened Linda's case. She dove into old case files, hundreds of pages of police reports, sketches, and interviews. What she uncovered told her one thing clearly: this case was far from closed. While Sarah sat behind bars, her mother never stopped fighting for her. She contacted anyone who would listen. She tracked down witnesses who had long since moved across states. She pushed for help until the Innocence Project took on her daughter's case. One of the biggest breakthroughs came when the Innocence Project visited the Rivera family. This was a family who had been silent for years out of fear. They revealed that on the night of the attack, Jeremy Sanchez and Erica Curiel had come to their home to clean up. This was information detectives could have pursued earlier, information that pointed toward the original suspects and away from Sarah. As the team located more eyewitnesses who were willing to recant their original statements, many admitted their identification of Sarah had been mistaken or influenced by the flawed lineup. Piece by piece, the narrative that had put Sarah behind bars unraveled. During the Innocence Project's investigation, troubling behavior from the prosecutor, Virginia Bond, came to light. The prosecution had withheld key evidence, including polygraph results and the fact that the lineup had been conducted improperly. Instead of acknowledging the discrepancies or considering alternate suspects, Bond, the prosecutor, had aggressively pursued Sarah despite mounting red flags. Eventually, Bond herself was removed from her role for inappropriate actions and prosecutorial misconduct tied to this very case by a new district attorney that was elected, someone who was more open to reviewing the case honestly. The new DA saw the issues, the withheld evidence, the flawed lineup, and the testimonies that pointed toward other individuals. He offered Sarah a deal. She could be released early on a post-conviction agreement that acknowledged the problems in her case. It was not a declaration of innocence. The system rarely gives that freely, but it meant her freedom after more than a decade behind bars. Meanwhile, John Werdeman's case took its own complicated turn. He was the brother of the original suspect that was found through America's Most Wanted. So John Werdeman's case took its own complicated turn. He had been convicted on 7 felony counts: conspiracy, robbery, kidnapping, aggravated battery, arson, and attempted murder. But years later, with the help of appellate attorney Elissa Massoth, a court ruled that he had received ineffective assistance of counsel. Massoth proved that expert testimony on eyewitness misidentification had been blocked. The lineup procedure had been flawed. In 2015, his conviction was vacated, and he walked free on bond while awaiting further review. In the state's eyes, he wasn't factually innocent, yet the system had failed him enough to require a second look. Through all of this, Linda LeBrain, the woman who survived the unthinkable, carried the scars, both physical and emotional. Her story became tangled in layers of courtroom battles, conflicting testimonies, and legal reversals. She had survived her attackers, but the pursuit of justice dragged on for years, shifting and reshaping with every new revelation. The attack in that dark Idaho field turned into a story about more than violence. It became a window into flawed investigations, the power of false memory, the consequences of fear and silence, and the relentless determination of a mother fighting for her daughter. It became a reminder that justice isn't simple. It's messy, it's human, and sometimes the truth only comes out when the people who refuse to give up keep pushing until the system finally listens. So that case was the most prolific case in Idaho before the Idaho 4, but because Brooke had commented about the pictures that I found, because I did try to find as many real pictures from the case as possible, but they're hard to find online. Like, you can't just Google a picture of like Kenneth Werdeman, the original brother, the guy that was found through America's Most Wanted. Couldn't really find a picture of him. There was an older one, like after he had already been in prison for years and years, but you'd think it would be easier to find. So those teenagers seemed ruthless. Like, so Kenneth, the first guy that got arrested, he pretty much like fessed up right away. Like, he admitted to it. He even went to the victim and apologized to her. So for whatever reason, like, he just owned up to it, which probably didn't help the other perpetrators with their defense. He even ratted on his brother. John Werdeman is the one that fought, okay? So he's the one that had Elissa Massoth, and so he was convicted by a jury. And when you're convicted by a jury, you have the full appeals process at your fingertips to go for appeals. I printed out the actual court document about the appeals, but this was after Elissa made the appeal. This was the state's response. This was the one that I found, so I printed it out. Of course, the state was trying to fight it, right? There are only a few reasons they will let you appeal, and I'll read them in a minute. And I keep thinking as I read them, which ones, if Brian's attorneys were going to do anything on his behalf, what would they do? He doesn't have like the official appeals. The other thing they call it is post-conviction relief. And I guess here's how I will describe it, and this is just my interpretation. I used to have to explain this to my students. Which way does it go? All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. So like the big umbrella is a rectangle, right? But only some of those rectangles are squares. And so I think everything is a post-conviction relief, but only some of those are an official appeal. I don't know. It's something like that. It's hard to understand. That's my analogy. Squares and rectangles. Brooke says that John had a badass attorney, and can you imagine Hippler finding out when Massoth came on board? Yeah. Oh, I found some stories. I found some stories in this tangled web of appeals over here. Okay, so with John Werdeman and Elissa Massoth, now remember, she wasn't his original attorney, so she's coming in and saying the attorneys that he did have failed to file a motion, so they made a mistake. So she had to make a claim that his original attorneys made a mistake, and they should have challenged the lineup, the video lineup, okay? And they didn't. So that's a clear and the court, the higher court, agreed with her. She presented her case with enough evidence to show here's what they did with the lineup. And I think with him, the lineup was completely rigged against him. Like they put him in there and he was the only one that like actually fit the description, and everybody else was like way off. I think that's what happened with his lineup. And so they won. And what they call it is he won post-conviction relief. So what the court does is they say, okay, and this is the equivalent of getting off on a technicality. So the court isn't saying you proved your innocence. He didn't prove his innocence. I think he was there. I mean, his brother said he was there. It was 4 people. I'll tell you more about this guy in a minute, but I think this is an example of a guilty person getting off on a technicality. He got off on a technicality of his attorneys not filing a motion when they should have. So what they did is they just reduce your sentence. So that's, to me, makes sense why they call it post-conviction relief. He was serving, like, what did they say, 7 life sentences, and they reduced it so much he got out. Like, they didn't even reduce it to, like, okay, 1 life sentence. I mean, like, a life sentence is a life sentence, right? You're not gonna serve more than that. He ended up getting out on bond, and I think it was while they were waiting to see what the actual outcome is going to be. He actually even filed for compensation, but they will only grant compensation if you are found factually innocent. And they didn't do that in his case. They didn't do that. So fun fact about him. I read it quickly somewhere, so I'm not 100% verified of what he actually did, but I believe he ended up back in jail. So I really do think he was a bad dude. So is Lori in here? Hi, Lori. Oh, you're awesome. You're awesome. You guys, if you're on TikTok, go to TikTok and look up, it's Truth Seeker, right, Lori? Don't get mad at me for asking that. Truth Seeker on TikTok. She is posting, she has the cutest puppies. I call them puppies. One's an old gal, one is a true puppy, and she's doing holiday stuff with them. And she does post some true crime stuff too, but go to TikTok and follow her. All right, so that was John Werdeman and what Elissa Massoth was able to do. So I looked up, let's see, this is Post-Conviction Procedure Act, and this is from Idaho. Post-Conviction Procedure Act. And then it states that a petitioner may at any time file a petition before the trial court that entered the judgment of conviction in his or her case for the performance of this is talking about fingerprints and DNA. Testing on evidence that was secured in relation to the trial, which resulted in his or her conviction, but which was not subject to the testing that is now requested because the technology for the testing was not available at the time of trial. Okay, so this is making it seem like, you know, how older cases, they're like, well, they had DNA, but they didn't have the technology to test it back then, but the technology exists now. That's not the case. Hi, Lily Shaw. Hello. But I'm just going to continue on because I think this is just explaining the procedures overall. So let me see. They have to, I would be worried about having to do this in front of the judge where your case was originally heard. I mean, would you even, if you were Ann Taylor, would you even bother to try to appeal anything in front of Hippler? I mean, no way. She wouldn't even get the words out of her mouth and he would be like, no, denied. So she's going to have to go higher. She's going to have to go higher if they try to do something. Okay. So they have to identify an issue in which the trial in an issue in which resulted in his conviction. So he was convicted by a plea deal. I don't know. Maybe it says this doesn't match his situation exactly. It's also saying that, so like, let's say they're questioning the DNA, right? There's issue in the handling of the DNA, actually getting the DNA, the profile of the DNA, chain of custody. This is saying that if you want to use DNA in a post-conviction relief, you have to prove that there wasn't anything shady in the chain of custody, because they're going to rely on that for your maybe post-conviction relief. I hope I'm explaining that correctly. And I think there's questions with that in Brian's case. So it makes you wonder, did they do all that like on purpose? Because I think in Brian's case, wasn't there issues with like the evidence tape being broken, like the seal being broken at different times? Yeah. All right, I'm going to do something real quick, and then I'm going to go on to, I wanted to tell you more about Sarah. It's going to let me do it. Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to do something on the backstage here. So, there we go. I got it. I'm giving some memberships. I hope somebody that's actually in here gets them. We need new members in here. Yay, Lily Shaw. Awesome. I know Lucy comes in here a lot. That's awesome. KP, Andrew White. I'm glad someone who's in here got one. Congratulations. Green team. Green team. Okay. The other part of that story that I showed you was Sarah Pierce and her issue. She truly just got post-conviction relief because, and I don't know who her representing attorney was, but that poor girl, I mean, she did not fit the description at all. The witnesses, that family, the Rivera family, they knew the truth the whole entire time. They knew the night of that attack that the Sanchez guy and the what's her name? Erica Curiel girl. They were at their house. They drove to their house, went out back of their house and used their hose to wash all the blood off of them. So they knew that from night one, two of the brothers in that family. And they must have been threatened to keep their mouths shut. So another connection, right? A lot of people are thinking that, maybe those surviving roommates, didn't have anything to do it, but threats are real, right? Threats are real. So that family, and it was like 15 years they held on to that. They didn't come clean until their father was on his deathbed and said, please go tell the truth. That's the only thing that made them do it. And even then, they would not name that girl, that Erica Curiel. So Lord only knows who she was connected with. They wouldn't say her name. They just told the truth about what they knew. And so because they finally did that, then there were two other witnesses, one at a rest stop, one at a hotel, or was it a hotel? Yeah, hotel. They said, hey, we said Hispanic girl. We said girly girl. We said short. We said 5'1". Like, so, Erica was able to get out early. So both of them, Erica she's still considered guilty. So the real person that pretty much has a lot of evidence that they could indict, but you can't indict two people for the same crime, right? That's how much the system will double down on, we didn't make a mistake. We didn't make a mistake. Lily, did you see my message about his neighbor, Christian Martinez? Was he the DJ guy or something like that? One of his friends had a Harley Davidson and went to the pool party. Interesting. Good, good, good. What does this one say? They should have seen her history didn't match with what happened. Yeah. Yeah, that poor Pierce, Sarah, that poor Sarah girl that got convicted, she used to like be in that world of drugs and crime and everything. And she got out and she totally cleaned up her act. She was like working in some like program. And then this happened to her. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But they would not release her conviction. They said, we'll let you out. We'll let you out of prison. But you have to sign an agreement saying that you're still guilty. And that's what they did. And then that prosecutor in this case, let me see if this explains it. She was horrible. So her name was Virginia Bond. And if there's a Dateline episode on Linda LeBrain's case, it's a really good episode. It's called One Summer Night. They interviewed Virginia Bond, and first of all, she looks like a train wreck. Like she looks like she has gone through it. And she was so snarky, like just, because the interviewer was like, well, that these people said that you flashed her picture on the screen or whatever. And she's like, they can say whatever they want, but I didn't do that. And, criminal, how did she say? She goes, criminal people have criminal thinking. So I don't have anything to do. I cannot do anything about that or something like that. She just like doubled down the whole way, but it was pretty obvious that they messed with those lineups. So with both of them, John Werdeman, they totally made it look like just him. And then with Sarah Pierce, they flashed a picture of Sarah Pierce on the screen before they showed the lineup. Like, really? James, you're welcome. You're welcome. Wait, did you get a membership? You're not showing up green. I'm going to try again. Are you showing up green? I don't see you. I'm going to try it again. That's our tagline. Real talk. Oh, it won't let me. I have a second screen that I'm using, and something is really messed up with it because when I drag my, when I do like a split screen and drag it over, there you go, James. Moonlit, yay. SW Firefly, Laura, True Love, Smiling Sleuth, all names that I recognize. I'm so happy. More green members. Oh no, Diane. I'll get you next time. I'll get you next time. All right, that screen's driving me batty. Yeah, anyways, somehow that other screen is on like 500% or something, and it drives me insane. Okay, so Virginia Bond, that attorney, totally like corrupt. So what happened was, and this is my opinion of what I think needs to happen if Brian deserves a post conviction relief. There's no way it can be done in front of Hitler. There would need to be new, or if they did it like in Moscow, I don't know if they can do that anymore. I think it has to be in Boise. There would have to be a whole new overturn of judges and district attorneys and things like that. That's happened in so many cases. It happened in the Long Island serial killer case. Everybody keeps saying like write to the president of the United States or write to so-and-so. My personal opinion is if you really want someone to do something, is find someone. They have to be in that gray area, removed enough from Boise so that they're not like in that good old boy network, but close enough to care. And I think it shouldn't be somebody in the judicial system, but it should be like a senator or a representative. So someone in government that believes what you believe, that believes that there was some shadiness going on, that will hear you. And they have power within the government to at least get to the right people to make something happen. I don't think anybody in Boise is gonna get that done. That's my opinions. Okay, so let me share this so you guys can see what how do I get this off? Okay. Give me 1 second. This is called absolute immunity, the deadliest weapon in the prosecutor's arsenal. This is from 2019, so kind of dated, but I don't know if I can make it any bigger, but at least you can see what I am reading. And who wrote this? Oh, it's from the Libertarian Institute. All right, so prosecutors are rewarded for winning at all costs. They have no incentive to seek the truth rather than a conviction. How many shows have I done on this? Like, it's the prevailing theory. They are entirely unaccountable. They are entirely unaccountable when they pervert justice. There you go. There's a phrase, perverting justice in pursuit of victory. This is from Idaho resident John T. Bujak. People shouldn't, now he becomes the new district attorney, I believe. People shouldn't believe that their innocence provides any protection. The question isn't whether you have done anything wrong, but whether the criminal justice system is going to target you. And once you're in that system, you face prohibitive odds of emerging from it without being hurt. This familiar complaint was voiced by an apparently unlikely plaintiff. From January 2009 until October 2010, Bujak was the elected district attorney for Canyon County, the second largest in Idaho. So you guys, this is Idaho. He was elected as the district attorney. He's the one that ended up saying something fishy's going on here. He came in and saw that, oh, we're just getting convictions no matter what. We're getting convictions even though we're not really looking for the truth. And, you know, that's, to me, isn't that the kind of person we want? Like, you want someone who can be fair enough in there to be like, look, we're going to stop railroading people, right? Guess what happened to him? Guess what happened to him, chat? What do you think happened to the guy that came in and said, we need to start doing things more fairly? Crickets. I'm getting crickets. I'll tell you what they did to him. Hey, I was a teacher, you guys. I will wait you out. There you go. Truth and justice, true crime. Yeah, they're going to try to get rid of you. They are going to try to get rid of you. Tomboy says he was reelected. We wish. No, listen to what happened to him. All right. So Bujak has spent a considerable portion of the past 4 years, remember, this is back in 2010, in court on the other end of the government's prisoner manufacturing apparatus. Ooh, isn't that a good? Let's write that down, you guys. It's a prisoner manufacturer. That's what the court system is. Prisoner manufacturer. Acting as his own defense counsel in multiple trials involving charges. Let me see if I can highlight this. There you go. So you can see what I'm reading. Charges of embezzlement and bankruptcy fraud. He is 5 for 5 as his own defense attorney. So they brought charges against him. He defended himself 5 different times, and the judgment went in his favor. He was able to defend himself. So this article says it's a record that testifies of either his considerable skill as an advocate or the poverty of the charges against him. They probably didn't have any evidence if he didn't do it. I think both could be true. So yeah, when you want somebody out, you go after them, right? They went after him. So here's why they were mad at him. Bujak's outspoken criticism of his former profession might be seen by some as a product of his own recent travails. There is reason to believe that his ouster, by what he calls with a little originality, but considerable evidence, the good old boy network, right? What does Idaho have? The good old boy network. And it's probably not just Idaho. It's everywhere. Was prompted by some principled stands he took in pursuit of official accountability. So this guy, they went after him. He's the one that got rid of Virginia Bond. So when he became the district attorney, he was like, look, I don't want to do things that way anymore. Your type of prosecution isn't what's going to work here. And so she didn't get like fired. She resigned, but she was kind of forced out. But isn't this crazy? And then, of course, I think he lost re-election. So he only got to get in there. So just think about that. We want people to go in and like clean up, start doing things fairly, and you can't send one person by themselves. I don't know. It's going to take a lot. This guy got roasted. Yeah, he got roasted. I'll see if there's any more details in here. I don't want to read the whole entire thing, but so here's what they got mad about, okay? So there are 44 district attorneys in Idaho. So I wonder if there's one. Is there one per county? Is that how it goes? Because that's how many counties there are. Wait a minute. There's 88. We have 88 counties in Ohio, I believe. I think that's the right number. I should know that. Oh, James, thank you. It does take a lot of work. So thank you for acknowledging that. I appreciate you. Thank you. So there's 44 district attorneys. Bujak endorsed the Uniform Post-Conviction Procedure Act. And I think I liked this act. So someone tried to get this put into law, right? It's called the Uniform Post-Conviction Procedure Act. Can you guys see what I'm showing? I'll try to make it bigger. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Oh, that makes it smaller. Oh, I can't do it. I wonder. All right, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so that act was created with input from the Innocence Project, you guys. This district attorney aligned himself with the Innocence Project. And so this act, what it would do is it would measure states that for any conviction in which identity was the key question and fingerprint or forensic DNA test results demonstrate, in light of all admissible evidence, that the petitioner is not the person who committed the offense, the court shall order the appropriate relief, which can be overturning the conviction and ordering a new trial. What do you think about that? Let me see if this will fit. Can I put this in here? Oh, no. It won't. Oh, wait, right here. I'm trying something. There you go. I put that sentence right there in chat. Let me see what you guys think about this. 1 per county. Thank you. A federal case. Thanks, Lori. Fact checking me in Ohio. All right. Okay. Innocence Project and Bojack. I mean, why wouldn't you want something like this if you really want truth? So here's what happened. When that bill was introduced in the legislature, the Idaho Prosecuting Attorneys Association. You think Bill Thompson's part of that? Do you think Ashley Jennings is part of that? I'm sure Bill was an attorney back then. Ashley wasn't, but Bill was. They met and they determined that they would not support it. That's a group that includes not only the district attorneys, but hundreds of deputy prosecutors and assistant prosecutors statewide. I was the only member of the Idaho Prosecuting Attorney Association who endorsed the bill because I believe that truth shouldn't have an expiration date. He was the lone wolf, you guys. He was the lone wolf. Does New Jersey only have 21 counties? New Jersey's a lot smaller too. Land-wise, right? Land-wise. Hi, Tomboy. Good to see you. Truth and Justice, True Crime. Good to see you. Hello. Just making sure. Diane Draper. Hello. All right. This is crazy. Bojack's collaboration with the Innocence Project began shortly after he entered office in 2009. In defiance of the tribal impulses of the prosecutorial class, Bojack agreed to review the conviction of Sarah Pierce. So he was in on that Sarah Pierce case from the Linda LeBrain story that I just showed you. Sarah Pierce spent 11 years in prison. The case was cleared by the Canyon County DA's office years before Bojack's election, but in reviewing the files, he became convinced that an injustice had been done. And that's what usually happens in cases where you are able to come back later and get a post-conviction relief. You need new people, right? Because everyone wants to save face. If like Judge Hippler, there's no way Judge Hippler is going to say, I made a mistake. There's no way Bill Thompson's going to say, I made a mistake, or Ashley Jennings. They're just not. They're going to fight it. They'll fight it until forever. It's going to take someone new. In my opinion. All right. So then it goes on to tell the story of that case. Okay, so this is what Bujek said. This is the attorney that they attacked. He said, one of the really nasty things about our current system is the fact that post-conviction appeals are civil motions. And I do have, I did find that. So you actually go through the civil court process. Isn't that weird? Maybe the only good thing about that is I think it's more like laxed, which means that an innocently convicted person can be compelled to admit guilt in order to receive relief. This becomes an important risk management tool because an admission of the plaintiff's innocent would result in huge liabilities for the government responsibility. Oh, I see what they're saying. So if you're in the civil courts, and if you win, the state's going to have to pay you money, right? They're not going to let that happen. Indiana has 92 counties and 91 prosecutors. Oh, that's almost equal. Almost equal. He goes on to say that both judges and prosecutors enjoy absolute immunity for their official conduct. They are not personally liable for their official misconduct, which means they have no flesh over the fire, so to speak. Like when we say, I don't have any, what's the saying? Something in the game. I don't have any skin. I don't have any skin in the game, right? They're citing a case here, Brady versus Maryland. Oh, that's the exculpatory evidence. Here we go. This relates to the Idaho case. Although it is both an ethics violation, here we go, write that down, ethics violation and a crime for a prosecutor to withhold evidence, it is all but impossible to find an example of a post-conviction case in which a prosecutor has been sanctioned for such behavior. Oh, I'm going to write that down. They just said almost impossible. So there's got to be one out there, right? Is there a case of let me see, how did he say it? Oh, a prosecutor's has been sanctioned. I'm going to write down sanctioned prosecutors. Find them. Let's see. In New Jersey, someone in here is from New Jersey, right? What was that guy's name? The cop went to jail, but he was best friends with Brooke, you'll know what I'm talking about, I think. He was best friends with the district attorney. The cop got in trouble, but the prosecutor didn't, I believe. They fed Brian to the wolves, hoping everyone would shut up in this case. And honestly, I think more people, yes, I agree with you. Brian's going to have to go to the federal court of appeals. He is. And so I keep thinking like, I think they have multiple reasons to appeal. Right? Let's brainstorm those for a second. So, okay. The things that I think don't match what you're allowed to do. Let me see. Can I find? It seemed like if you do post-conviction relief, it's very narrow. It's something like, it has to be tied to misidentification, DNA. Let me see if it says in this one. I have like a million documents all over the place. I'm not so organized today. Let me see if it's on here. Brian probably has these things, but I don't. Okay. Fingerprint or forensic DNA. No, this isn't the one that showed me. Sorry about that, you guys. But I do think there's limited reasons. But okay, brainstorming Brian's, right? There's many Brady violations that she wasn't granted, right? Ann Taylor tried to file motions for Franks and Brady, I believe, and they weren't granted. The delay in turning over evidence. So I think they can absolutely prove hiding evidence. Oh, thank you, Truth and Justice, True Crime. Right up my alley. That's what I'm looking for. That's the stuff that I'm looking for. Oh, you know what I'll have to do on my next episode? I screenshot every page that they found in Brian's apartment because I think they were his essays that he wrote. And I'm really good at reading like first grade handwriting. So I think they were, I don't know if they were handwritten. They might be typed. But they were upside down and I don't know how good of images they were, but I'm like, I'm going to read those. I'm going to try to read those. And I'm definitely going to look at that video and find that book. That's interesting. That's interesting. So hiding evidence. Hey, Jeff H. Hello. How you doing today? We were just outing, talking about a district attorney who was outed in Canyon County, Idaho, because a new district attorney was elected who was more, how would you describe him? More interested in running a true and just, fair system. And every prosecutor, every district attorney and deputy prosecutor in the state of Idaho went against him. He sided with the Innocence Project in trying to change some processes of how they do things. Yeah, Idaho doesn't want that. Did Hitler violate his amendment rights for due process? I mean, I would have to look up the exact scenario for that, but you would think so. You would think so. I'm going to take up your whole 15-minute break, Jeff. That's funny. That's funny. Are you editing? Daniel Rodimer, the coroner's office ruled the death a homicide, and Rodimer was later accused of murder in the case. And then that was somebody who was later unexonerated. Oh, scroll up. Sorry. Oh, I've heard of Chris Tapp. How have I heard of Chris Tapp? Was exonerated for a 1996 murder, died in Las Vegas in November 2023 from the blunt force trauma to the head. He had been hospitalized after a fight with former congressional candidate. Ooh, Chris Tapp. I know that name. I do know that. I'm writing that one down too. Thanks, you guys. I'm always looking for cases to compare. So I love your ideas and suggestions. And please message me if you think of more. Oh, it goes up further. Keep directing me, Tomboy. Keep directing me. More. Sorry, I missed this. Okay. Idaho doesn't want transparency. Angie Dodge. That's how I know that name. I know that case. I can't remember it, but I know it. Angie Dodge. She wasn't the car fire one, was she? The one at the gas station? He was exonerated in 2019. He was freed in 2017 after a court reduced his sentence to time served. See, that's what they do. They're not, but he probably wasn't pronounced innocent. He probably, see, that's the thing. You look up these cases thinking they're exonerated, and they're really not. Exonerated to me is proven innocent, and they don't get proven innocent. They say, hey, we'll let you out, but you're still guilty. We're not going to say you're innocent. We're not going to admit to doing anything wrong. So time. Oh wait, he was fully exonerated. Keep reading, Kim. Keep reading. He was fully exonerated when DNA evidence and genetic genealogy pointed to another suspect. He must have been granted another trial with that. You think? Or did a judge just hear it? He was awarded compensation and successfully sued the city of Idaho Falls. Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. Maybe I'll do that next week, Tomboy. You already know all about it, though. But I will keep reading. I lost my place now. I read the died in sued the city of Idaho Falls. Looks like he was probably killed. The coroner's office ruled the death a homicide. Someone else, Radimer, was accused of the case or of the killing. There's a whole story. Gotcha. Thanks, Tomboy. You're Jim and I'm Kim. I'm going to say that to you every time you come in here. Is that what you'd rather go by, Jim? I will call you that. I forget the county in Idaho. A gentleman was on death row and then released because it was proven he was innocent. I get very conflicted with Brian because on one hand, you say it doesn't look like there was any evidence besides the DNA on the sheath, but there was also other male DNA on other items that they didn't develop. They didn't go through the IgG process with. But then when it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I went through the reasons for the prosecution offering a plea deal. And can I say this loud for the people in the back? Because I've been getting comments. Why did Brian ask for a plea deal? No one asks for a plea deal. The prosecutors, it's up to the prosecutors to offer a plea deal. The prosecutors have to offer it. It comes from them. And what the research shows is that they will do that like practically 97% of the time, and especially when they have weak evidence. So it's the prosecution that does not want to go to trial. And they usually put something into place that scares the bejesus out of the defendant, and they would rather take a chance pleading guilty than go to trial. That's how I describe it. Anna D. Okay, Anna D. You might have to remind me. Anna D. I know that name. I know your name. Hello. I'll put a sticky note. Truth and Justice. I like to call people what they want to be called. Jeff H was tuning his guitar. Is he live? Is Jeff H live? Or are you being funny? Yeah, trying to save money. They're trying to save money. They're boosting their stats as a tough on crime prosecutor because a plea deal is it goes in the guilty comment. Oh yeah, just because he was here. I get you. I think I smeared my lipstick. Oh no, sorry. All right, let me see if there's any other interesting information in here. Okay, about what happened. So, in the words of Judge Alex Kaczynski of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, this is in Idaho, we are seeing an epidemic, you guys. And this is, let's see, 10 years ago? Less than 10 years ago? 6 years ago? An epidemic of Brady violations nationwide. Last December, a panel from the Ninth Circuit Court refused to hear the appeal of Kenneth Olson, who had been convicted by a federal jury of knowingly developing a biological agent for use as a weapon. That conviction rested on two pillars, each of which was fractured at its base and thoroughly compromised within. Kenneth Olson. That's kind of scary that he was developing a biological weapon. Oh my goodness. Brian was indicted by a grand jury. And did they release? They didn't release. You can't release grand jury transcripts, right? Did they release anything about the grand jury? I don't think you can. I'm not sure. But it's secret for a reason. It's only the prosecution for a reason. I know Lana earlier was just talking about Mowry, and showing Mowry lying to the grand jury. And I know she has docs and information that we don't have. I wonder if that can be used. So can that be used somehow with a appeal / post conviction relief? He released some of them. Oh, I need to look at that too. The homework is never ending. I have to tell you guys, though, I think Carlos looks at me. Hi, Dago. I think Carlos looks at me like surprised at how what would be the word? Fixated on YouTube and the Koberger case that I am. I mean, I do tend to do that, like before it was politics, before it was school. So I do have that kind of personality. But everything that this entails, making videos, doing research, creating content, is exactly what I did when I was a teacher. So I think this is fulfilling my my heart by doing this. And let me tell you, the stress is gone. Like I can do this with just pure enjoyment and no overhanging like you guys don't have to pass a test for me. Yeah, so I love it. So I love you guys giving me these suggestions. I watched you, Dago, last night. I think I almost made it to the end, but then I finally fell asleep. But wow. I was even talking earlier when I first came on about your whole 911, like listening to the call and watching the video and Hunter and the knife and all that. I'll have to go watch the end to see if you guys ever came. Did you come to a decision about that? Like, or is it ongoing? Because I'm still confused about that. I gotta go back and look at it. All right. We are also talking about how corrupt Idaho is as a whole with its DAs and all the prosecutors. So this guy that was making weapons, let's see. I don't want to get into the details of his case. Maybe I will use that later. But overall, here, some prosecutors don't care about Brady because courts don't make them care, right? There's no consequences. The behavior of the prosecutor in the Olson case is hardly a rare blemish and source of embarrassment. Brady violations have reached epidemic proportions in recent years. Bujak, who is pursuing he was running for governor at one point, you guys. I guess he's in the Libertarian Party. Anybody in Idaho recognize that name? I don't know if he won. I don't know what year that was. I mean, hey, good to know that name, right? Bujak in Idaho. Let's find him and see where he's at. I wonder what he thinks about Brian's case. There's a name, you guys. Dago, let's find him. We'll do a joint interview. Writing that down. Bujak. I like that name. Yeah, it's here, I'll spell it for you. It's B-U-J. B-U-G-J, sorry. There you go. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. All right. Okay, so that was that guy that I wanted to show you. Let me see if this one will open. How to appeal. How to challenge your criminal appeal in Idaho. You guys can't see it. Just a couple more things I wanted to share about appeals. You can see it now. I don't know if I can make it bigger, but there's two ways to challenge your criminal conviction in Idaho. You make a direct appeal to the Idaho Supreme Court. So someone, maybe Anna D, was talking about going directly to the Supreme Court. So, yep, that's one way. The second way is, okay, this is an either or. You either go straight to the Supreme Court or you make an action for post-conviction relief. And that's what Massoth did with John Werdeman. So that's where, if you're going to do post-conviction relief, you have to prove something like flawed eyewitness statement, or the prosecutors purposefully well, their example was doing the lineup incorrectly, stuff like that. A post-conviction action is a civil case. So you either go to the Supreme Court or you go to a civil case in which you sue the state of Idaho. I didn't know that. So if you do post-conviction relief, you sue the state of Idaho on the grounds that your conviction was obtained in violation of Idaho law or its constitution. And if you get, this is from mclawid.com. Is this like McDonald's for law? What is this? Is this legit? I don't know if this is legit. I will fact check this, but we'll see what this says. That seems like a made up name. McLaw.com. An application for post-conviction relief is a separate civil case made in the district court where you were convicted. This sounds like stuff I've already heard. An act for post-conviction relief is made under Idaho Criminal Rule 39. I know that's for sure. It's called Rule 39, you guys, which provides that the action proceeds under the Idaho Rules of Civil Procedure. In other words, the case proceeds in the district court similarly to other civil actions. Okay. When you Google Rule 39, other things will come up because it's a broad rule. One part of it is criminal. So that's the one you want to look at. There's other things in there about water transportation and health laws, but you want the criminal section of Rule 39. Issues that can be raised in an action for post-conviction relief include claims that cannot be raised on direct appeal, claim for ineffective assistance of counsel. So when I think of Brian Kohberger, I don't think he has ineffective assistance of counsel. I think he has other issues. So I agree with whoever keeps saying appeal to the higher courts. Appeal to the higher courts. And I hope they would be able to appeal if this is all true. I say I hope if what we're seeing with the evidence proves he's innocent. Otherwise, I don't want an innocent person. I mean, I don't want a guilty person getting out. Like that John Werderman case that I talked about at the beginning. I don't want a guilty person getting out on a technicality because he ended up right back. He's a bad guy. A bad guy is going to be a bad guy. He ended up right back. Sleuthy sweetheart, hello. Joanna, hello. There's many roads for Brian, even two ways at the same time, Relief Act and federal suing. I don't know if you can do both at the same time. I don't know. Thanks, Anna D. Thank you. Ann Taylor said multiple times, Judge, not ready with I know she said it. You're talking about the terabytes of information. I know she kept saying, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But then at the plea hearing, she said, the judge asked her, did you have enough time to thoroughly investigate? And she said, yes. Ineffectiveness of counsel several times. So, Tomboy, to me, ineffectiveness of counsel is not making a move when she should have. Are there times when she didn't do something should have? Unless I'm interpreting that wrong. Hi, Skolmakai, Offie. Hello, I see you. You are killing it with those videos. I love all the graphics that you're doing. Skull, let me know. I wanted to show them on here. I want to show your music on here, but I'm afraid I'll get flagged because of the software and the program that is like probably licensed that you're using. So I'm afraid to do that. I want to. Oh, due process rights? Maybe. Okay, well, I'm glad I started all of this. Lots of good questions. Due process rights. I think it's even more than that. I mean, I think they definitely have dates and lack of evidence that they did not receive along the way, in my opinion, to prove that the prosecution was intentionally not turning over evidence. I think that should be a huge one. I have not specifically seen that written in any of these articles. That would be a reason, but I would think that would be a reason. Hiding exculpatory evidence, hiding evidence to begin with, any evidence. I think that's a big one. Not testing evidence. And then I was thinking about that. I don't believe the defense tested any of that other DNA, did they? If they didn't, could Brian claim that that was ineffective counsel because they did not do their own testing? Who are we giving condolences to? I'm sorry. I agree with that tomboy. I agree with that. Like, she didn't have everything she needed. Oh, Skull, there's no copyright? All right, I'm gonna go for it. I know you own all the rights, and so you're gonna grant me permission and not say I can't show it. All right, royalty free. You got it. You got it. And Tomboy, I agree with you. Like overall, whole big picture. Anne didn't have enough to provide his defense. But it just seems like when you do an appeal, you have to be specific. Like you have to be specific. The 8-hour cleanup track. Love it. Who are we giving condolences to? Is it about Tommy? Leaking information. Do you guys think they are ever going to come back? That they're ever going to come back with an identification of who did that? No way. No way. Someone will just say it was my source. I can't give up my source. I did scroll up. What am I missing? Oh, judicial misconduct. There's no way that the state of Idaho would let that happen. And the prosecutorial misconduct. I don't think so. Okay, hiding evidence, due process, and witness statements. Thank you, Anna D. I knew it's like specific things like that. So it's good to know. I think Brian's probably he probably has all three, but the hiding evidence I think is very evident. I don't think here, Brooke, I'm scrolling up. She should have fought harder on the things we know now. There were some times when I was like, I thought she cowtailed to Hitler too much. She has a soft but steady tone to the way she speaks. Sometimes I would like to see her get a little more fired up, especially when the way he was talking to her. I honestly don't think she had everything to know what we knew. That's just my opinion. Okay, so that's the conviction or relief. So if you're going to go to the Supreme Court, you have to file a notice of appeal, state your issues. Then the district court will prepare a record and a transcript of the proceedings. The court will not consider new evidence that was not before the district court. So how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you show what you didn't have if they won't let you show what you didn't have? Does that make sense? Yes, Tomboy. Yes, I think the state law enforcement, the prosecutor, they know this game. This is a decades long approach with prosecutors all over the United States. They know if we don't have something, if we don't show something, they're not going to be able to prove it. Intentional destruction of evidence has to be new evidence. Well, then that's the other approach. So the stuff the evidence that was not turned over before Brian's plea deal, then that's considered new evidence, right? Or if they were to maybe ID some of these people that we know exist on video cameras, or ID the people whose unknown DNA is. You don't think they did they destroy all of the DNA evidence, like all the blood samples from in the Q2, 3, 4? Did they destroy all of those? That makes me think about when Ann Taylor approached Hippler saying, well, if the magistrate would have known this, would have known that, just maybe in a lot of things that she couldn't present. That makes me think about when Ann Taylor approached. Oh, about if we could have been able to show this. This is what the state doesn't realize, that the true crime people are talking about the case and people are talking about it now. Ooh, yeah, they're going to find out. I'm telling you guys, I think the way to go is to write. I think we need to find that Bojack guy, see if he holds any kind of public office anywhere. Maybe try to find some other lawmakers in Idaho. Can't be in Boise. Can't be in the judicial system. It's got to be it's got to be in the executive branch, representatives and senators in the state. He said it. Do you have a clip, Dago, of Judge John Judge saying it? Interesting. 2014, Bojack ran for governor as a libertarian, drawing 4% of the vote. I hate our party system. I'm not going to talk politics, but if you don't run for the blue or red, you're just splitting the votes. That's just what happens. That's not my opinion. That's just statistically what happens. I mean, I love the guy for anyone who stands on, principle, but if you want to win, you got to join the game. In 2015, he gave up his law license after an Idaho state bar complaint. Man, they went after that dude. They went after him. Tell me more, Dago. What are you asking about? Dago, do you want to come up real quick? I'm going to get off in about 10 minutes or less. We can talk for a few minutes because I didn't understand your question. If you want to, you don't have to. No worries. when Judge told Ann Taylor he understood. Yes. Tomboy's got some messages. Yeah, I agree. There he is. Let me take this off.
Good morning.
Hi, how are ya?
I'm good. I just misunderstood what you were asking. That was all.
What did I ask?
You said something about, did I have him saying something? I didn't catch what you were talking about.
That it was something about John Judge.
Yeah. It was when I go back to that all the time. I think you've been in there when I think it was the May hearing that they had, and she was telling him about something along, I can't give you exact words, but she said something along the lines of like, Your Honor, you don't understand. There's so much that is wrong. And he said, no, Miss Taylor, I absolutely do understand. And I feel for you, or something like that. So
yes, I do remember that.
That told me something then, like he knows
It did.
that something ain't right. And I feel like if he would have been there, I don't know. It almost makes me wonder now if there's a higher force that is laying on these people in some aspect. You know what I mean?
It's the culture. Like, that's why I'm reading all these like articles and different cases, and like these people, and this is coming from law institutions.
Yeah.
That it has been going on for decades. It's the way it goes. Like, if you are in the prosecutor's world,
yes,
this is the way it goes.
Yes, absolutely. It's insane. It's just like, we know what it's supposed to be. They know what it's supposed to be, but it just doesn't work that way. And it's really weird. It's crazy.
I feel like with the internet and social media and the way we are the way we are able to communicate now, we are uncovering a lot of things that they fed us.
Oh yeah.
That we are able to now like uncover and be like, oh my gosh, we just believed what they were saying. Like, we just believed what they told us.
That's it right there. And it's been going on for decades and decades. And that's the norm. And that's why it's so hard to break the cycle, because it's been life. It's their lifestyle. You know what I mean? So now that you have the people that can come through the back door and look at these things and go, hey, what the hell are you doing here? What's going on? They don't know how to react to this. They don't know what to do. They could, well, we'll just continue to do what we're doing. We've been doing for 50, 60 years, but they can't, because they can, but at some point you're going to have to answer for this. You know what I mean? There's too many people that are calling you out. So
there's this book called The Tipping Point. Has anybody out there ever read it? It's really like it's, most people relate it to businesses. Like, how do you get that tipping point to, like, blow up your YouTube channel or blow up your business, that like get popular and, start making a lot of money at it, or whatever you want to do. If you want to change, I think that could be applied to this too. Like, you have to get enough people and enough people in the right positions to change that system, because it's just, like you just said, just going on for, it could be done, but you got to get that tipping point.
Yeah.
And the reason I like that book is because it defines different kinds of people. So you have, like, I forget the names for all of them, but you have like the loudmouth people that spread the word. And then you have like the organized people. You have like, there's just different personalities of types of people that you need to get stuff done. So
yeah, no, I know what you mean completely.
Yeah.
And at some point, somebody's just gonna have to step up and just do it, I think, at some point. Otherwise it'll never happen.
Yeah. Well, that's the story. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, or a group, not just one person, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
The guy in the case that I was talking about, he was a new district attorney that took over in Canyon
River Falls
in Idaho. It's the county in Idaho there.
Okay.
And he was aligned. It's the guy that I was just reading about that tried to run for governor.
Yeah.
He won the district attorney's position in that county, and he was aligned with the Idaho Innocence Project. He
Gotcha.
did want to go in there and try to change things. They brought him to court 5 different times. They like made up charges about him. It was a witch hunt.
See?
And then they booted him out.
That's insane, because you don't, if you mess with their daily bread, you know what I mean, for lack of better terms, they're gonna get you. It's crazy.
Yeah. So
And
you
it
go
just
ahead.
blows my mind that they allow it, and you can't do nothing much about it, you know.
No,
One of
and
these
now
days, though, I hope.
after seeing what they did to him, would you be the next person to step up to try to do something?
Absolutely not, and that's why they do it that way, because they know, well, we'll make an example out of you, and nobody else will do it, and it's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
love your fire. Is that a real fireplace behind you?
No, that's actually a TV. That's my TV in my
Oh,
den, and I
okay.
just turn it on. Everybody
Yeah.
thinks it's real though, so I put it on for like background ambience, you know.
I used to do that in my classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
I would do
relaxing.
fireplaces. You can do aquariums.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do the fish tank occasionally. I'll switch it out for whatever season or mood we're in or whatever. I try to keep it rotating so it's just nice and relaxing for you guys to look at in the background rather than just looking at my TV back there.
I love it. It does look real.
It does. Yeah. It's a 5K TV, and there's another thing to it. I can't remember, but it makes it look severely realistic. Everybody says I look like my head's on fire. So you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Well, you guys, I am going to end this. Before I go, Dago, I wanted to tell you, did you come to a decision about Jack and the knife? When you were watching, that's when I fell asleep. You guys were watching.
Oh, you mean Hunter and the knife?
Hunter. I'm sorry. I keep saying the wrong
Oh,
name.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Not really. I mean, I know what happened, what I think happened, I should say, but I don't know. We don't know for a fact. That's the problem. So it's just weird that it's very weird to me that Emily and Hunter are a couple, and that Emily came in and made her statement. I don't know if it was before or after Hunter's. That's the difference. But she came in and made her statement, and she brought the knife up, and her boyfriend's the one that had the knife there. So
I know.
it's like there was no communication between the two of them. He didn't say, "Hey, this is what I did," or this or that, or anything else. So, and I know everybody's questioning, were there two? Did he have one? And was that one there? But then you hear him have that conversation with the officer talking about what he did. My question is why did you throw it on the floor, bud? And then pick it back up after the fact? What scared you into doing that? You know what I mean? Because that's how I took it. Is he freaked out maybe when he saw the police pull up and dropped it on the ground. Something's off with it.
I know.
I'm just saying there's something off. That's all I can say.
So yeah, you brought up a couple good points. I'm like taking notes here. We need to look who interviewed first.
Yes.
Hunter or Emily, who was first? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's going to make, maybe
it probably won't make much difference, but you would imagine there would be communication between those two, I would think. But
I think it shows an innocence that there wasn't, I mean, if they were on the same page, she definitely probably wouldn't have said that. I think there's two different knives because I say there's a rusty one.
That's what Hemisphere was saying last night too, and he was confused, and it made me go back and think like, well, wait a minute, maybe I'm wrong with what my thought was. You know what I mean? I could be. I mean, it makes sense.
I want to look at those pictures again.
Well, I'm going to do that today. We're going to go back to those pictures and go through all of those pictures again because I never got a chance to actually go through them all slowly with you guys. So we're going to do that. We're going to discuss different parts of those pictures. I know Tomboy likes those photographs. She found some things in there that she pointed out because she really analyzed those. But I never got the chance to do that. So that's something I want to do today here shortly. And Diane was, asking about the mattresses and different things. So what the hell? Let's go back and go through all of them and take our time and break them all down and discuss them all. So.
Right. Because I want it to show, I want to see if we can say it's one knife because, oh my God, I don't think I can take another discrepancy in this
I
case.
get it. Yes, I know. I know. There's too many of them. Way too many.
But as of right now, or based on what we saw the last time, and I get it, like I know you were saying it could be shadows, it could be this. I really thought there was too much of a difference between the width of the blade, the style of the
And the length.
blade,
The
the
length
way,
too.
the length, the shape of it. Like I
Well,
thought one was a little bit more curvy at the end. Well, and
you
a
threw
lot
me
of
off. Like
differences.
I thought I was for sure set in what I saw with that knife, and I started looking at it. It looked rusty to me, and then when I flipped to that other
Yeah.
that other picture, it completely looked like a completely different knife. It was longer, it was shiny, it was like, what the hell happened here? So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it makes you wonder if it was two different knives. And I'm like, well, wait a minute now. Where are these knives at in the report? Because I'm sorry, but in a homicide like this, that was a stabbing, you would imagine that a bladed weapon laying around the house should be a big deal. Okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
Kaylee's blood under that hunter's knife that was tested. See, I was told that I saw what I thought what looked like diluted blood stains that may have been stains dripped on that white table that were wiped off, and it just didn't get it all off because it was there for a while. And somebody told me that Kaylee's blood was not on that table, it was on a different table. I can't find that now. So again, listen, guys, I know these things are small, little tiny things, but little things make a big deal, in my opinion.
I'm going to dig into the DNA because Carlos and I have not done a show in over a month because I got so frustrated. I needed a timeout.
I get
And
it.
our topic was talking about the sheath and that other Q14 untested. So today, when I get off, I'm going to go start printing out everything I can find about DNA because I think, like, I've heard everybody say that that was blood on the ping pong table, but I think in the list of evidence it said there was one for end table, right? Or
And
was that
that's what I
blood
would
samples?
I think I can't decide if it's that little brass bar like thing or if there's another table in there
Uh,
somewhere that's maybe it's the end table that was in
uh-huh.
Xana's room. That's an end table or whatever you call that corner. That what
Yeah.
was that called next
An
to the
end
bed?
table, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wondered if somehow Kaylee's blood ended up on that nightstand, and that's at a nightstand. Thank you, Tomboy.
Yes.
That night, Kaylee's blood ended up in the nightstand in Xana's room, which would be blood transfer, and
Yes.
that would tell me then that possibly that Xana and Ethan were secondary to Kaylee and Maddie because of the transfer. That's you know what I mean.
Yes.
So
It also shows one person going from room to room.
the same person, yes,
Yes.
which doesn't mean that only one person did this. It just means that that specific person bounced around a little bit. You know, that's all I'm saying. But
Yeah.
still, it could also mean that one person did commit the crime. Maybe, you know, it's how you look at it, I guess.
Yep. Yep, for sure.
It's wild. There's like I said, you guys, all these little things, they equal something big, in my opinion. So that's why I want to hit those pictures again. Because we really just kind of scanned through them. We didn't take our time. This was a while back. And I've had many people say, hey, are we going to look at the pictures again? Are we going to look at the pictures again? So you showed interest. Tomboy showed interest. Diane showed interest. So what the hell?
Yeah.
I figured it would be good to slowly go through, break them down, talk about each one of them, see what we see. And every time I look at these, Kim, I see something different. That's crazy to say, but I truly do.
I know. So. Me too. That's why I can watch the same like show, same episode over and over and over again. Because every time I'm like, oh, I didn't hear that before. Oh, I didn't see that before.
Yes, there's something new.
Tomboy says it was also on the bar cart. Yeah,
that's what I was talking about.
You already mentioned.
Yeah, and Tomboy pointed out too on the ground next to that, there's a blood drop that they tried to say it wasn't. I have to agree with her. I absolutely believe it's a blood drop. It truly is. So,
yeah.
Again.
Yeah. I love that you know, most everybody in the community is like you said, so many little things, but as we go through them, you either rule it out or you make note of it that it's something that is important, and maybe it's going to tie to something else along the way.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why.
and
That's exactly it right there, what you just said, because if we find something tiny here in 3 months, something could come out that would make that blow up into something huge, and it's happened already before. So that's why
right.
I look at it that way now.
Yeah. And we're not too proud to say, oh, it was just shadows and it's really
No,
one knife
no,
or
in
something
fact,
like that. Like, yeah, we don't need to make everything into something.
and that's something I want to say. I'm glad you said that, guys, because not everything is nefarious. Not
Yeah.
everything is nefarious. Not everything is a conspiracy. Not everything is corrupted. There are some things that are just what they are, and it's okay. It's not a big deal if they are, There's enough corrupted, conspiratorial, crazy things in this case that we don't need to add
We
to it.
don't need to make stuff up.
No, not even close. So,
And as soon as I say that, Tomboy says there's bullet holes.
yeah, well, yeah, and
I
I
I
will say
believe
that much.
you.
We did
Yeah,
find what looks to be, and we really analyzed it, bullet
I
hole
believe you.
inside the house coming out of Maddie's bedroom, and it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I haven't
Pretty
seen that. I would love to see that
Yeah, it
because
it really does
and
resemble does, and it makes sense because SRB's husband, who was military, was
oh,
watching that episode with us, and we were or no, it was an episode. We were in the Discord, and we're looking at these pictures, and I was zooming in, and he's like, "If you look at it, it looks like it went through and through, which means the bullet went in and came out, and you could see where the siding peeled outward as if a bullet came out of there." And I'm like, "Damn, okay." So, you know,
wow.
if it was just one, it is what it is. It doesn't matter. It could be, or maybe it isn't. Who knows? But it sure as hell is something to look at. So,
We're not the ones that said there was a firework noise.
nope.
And there's a saying for a reason that it's not fireworks, it's
Yeah.
gunshots.
Yes.
Like that's a saying for a reason because
Yeah. And that's what
everybody wants
bothers
to
me.
say,
Is yes, that's what bothers me because a lot of people are saying now that they think it could have been a taser. And that was my thought too, until Bethany herself came out and said, when he asked her what did this light look like, she said it was like fire, it was orange. Well, a taser does not give off orange light. Muzzle flash from a gun, though, does do that. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
exactly. I'm going to try something.
Oh, you got those down too? They are fun. They need to give us better ones, though. They need to give us more.
I know. I have one of those. I have that PodTrack 8 thing that I run my microphone through, and I know I can put sounds on there, but I've just never have taken the time to do it. Which one is that? A Roadmaster?
No, it's a Bonkyo mixer.
Okay. Oh, a mixer. Yeah.
And it has all sorts of stuff, but I can't get it to work with this. And I want to run it with my new microphone that I can't get set up. This stupid microphone, if I bump it, you guys know it goes off all the time. And if I can get this right to set this up with my system to make it all work, I have all sorts of things I can do with this. And that's what I've been waiting to do. Plus, it clears up things and I can pause and do this and do that and run music to it too. So it is what it is.
I
can't figure
it took me a long time. That's some of the videos that I had to watch that are in my.
Them all. I watched them all for this one, and I did what they said. It still didn't work. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's
It
crazy.
worked in the Discord, and it didn't work for YouTube, and then I flipped it around, and it worked for YouTube, and didn't work in the Discord, and I'm like, just work for me, period. That's all.
Right.
Do these things, and I can't use either one of them.
Oh, who got the membership from Skull? Is it someone in here? I know it randomly picks.
I hate that, don't you?
Where does it show?
They should just light up. You can look if you're linked into YouTube. If you slide over to YouTube, it'll show you who got it. Oh wait, Miss Nosferatu, I think, got it for you. Yeah.
Who is it?
Ms. Nosferatu.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. I did actually start opening the studio. I didn't know that that's where you get your gifted memberships, like the free ones.
Yeah. You can. That's how I get them sent out to everybody every month because they give you a bunch.
Yes. All right. That's a new name. But anyways, Skull Mackay, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Very
That's
awesome,
awesome.
Scully. Good stuff, brother.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm
Isn't he
gonna.
talented.
He is.
He's
He is.
really talented. The stuff you've been doing, Scully, is on fire, brother. Truly, it is.
Yep. I've got a couple favorites of his
Mhm.
his songs.
He did
So
all the baby stuff too. He's the one that created the baby Dago so that I could throw that on the t-shirt. He did amazing with it too.
yep.
Very talented. Anyway, I'll shut up.
You
Thank you
got
for having me.
500 subs, Skull. You're halfway there.
Yes,
If
sir. You guys
anybody
got
in
to make
here is
sure
not subbed to him, get on over there.
I'll be throwing that link in chat too. We can 500 more guys and we can throw them out there.
Yes.
can do
And I keep trying. He's on TikTok too, and I keep trying to share his TikTok videos. I don't know if I'm doing it right though, but I'll share them to my Facebook page, Skull. That's what I'll do. We'll get you out there.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, bro. You know, I'll push that until I get it to the end. And yes, he is family tomboy. That's a fact.
Yes. All right. Well, I will let you go, and I'll see you over. What time do you think you're going on?
I'm gonna start setting up here. So what is it now? 1 o'clock. Probably within the next 45 minutes.
Okay. All right. All right, everybody.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks for having me, and I will see you soon, dear.
Yes. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Great show today, guys. I think we uncovered or talked about some important information when it comes to this appeals process and understanding that versus the post-conviction relief, and especially how Idaho works. I think it was very important to be able to find some resources that were not crazy, that are showing us how it's a system that has been established for many, many, many years. What happens to an outsider who does go in and try this to change the system? So if any of us have any ideas about wanting to help change things, you'd have to be very strategic and careful about doing that. I think it's going to take an army and some key people that are willing to like stand up to that. But thank you so much for joining me. Awesome ideas. You guys always give me the best information. I appreciate you for sharing. I'm going to go check out that video, Anna D, that you were telling me about. And I have a lot more questions that I want answered and information to find. So, tomorrow's Wednesday and I usually do my walks, but my sister is coming into town. I'm so excited because she lives a couple hours away from me. We don't get to see each other all the time and the bad weather is coming. So we really know we're not going to be able to see each other a lot. So she's coming in for like one more trip before winter hits. So I don't think I'm going to go live tomorrow. If I do, maybe it'll be me and her, and we're goofy when we go live together. The last time her and I did a show together, it's the only time we did a show together. We covered Class Action Park. If you guys know about that, it was crazy. We practically just laughed through the whole episode, but that was really funny. So if you don't see me tomorrow, that's why. And I'll be putting some more videos out. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you again for the gifted membership, Skull. Congratulations to everybody that got my free memberships, and to my mods. I love ya. I always appreciate you being here and your support, and all the current members. Thank you, Green Team. All right, I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Subscribe, it's free and keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew now, right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. That could be unique, yeah, that's you and me. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe, it's free. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always